Okay, so what if I told you the number on the scale could be going down and that could still not be the full story? So a lot of people come in reporting they've lowered their weight, but they're exhausted. Their hair may be thinning, they feel weak, and they feel like they're doing everything right, but they feel worse than when they started their weight loss journey. So if that sounds confusing, it's because nobody told them that not all weight loss is the same. So today we're going to talk about the part that often gets skipped, what you might be losing alongside with the fat, why it matters more than most people realize, and what actually needs to be part of the weight management plan. So hi, I'm Dr. Lola Ashaye. I'm a board certified family medicine physician and founder of InTouch Primary Care in Sugar Land, Texas. And what I do is I help people, especially women, get honest, comprehensive answers about their health, including weight, hormones, perimenopause, menopause, and long-term prevention. And on this channel, my goal is to give the kind of information that actually helps you make better decisions about your body. But remember, it's general medical education, not personalized advice. So always check with your own physician about what is right for you specifically. All right, so let's get into it. So I saw a new patient a few months after starting a GLP-1 medication. So she had lost weight. On paper, things looked good, but she was dragging herself through the day. She was getting winded walking up the stairs, and she noticed that her arms and her face looked different. It was softer, thinner, even as her weight dropped. This situation is not rare, and this is a major reason why I'm very particular about how I monitor people when they are on a weight management plan. So she was losing more than fat. She was losing lean mass, and her body was telling her. So here's what's really happening. So when this is something that I believe is not said enough, weight loss is not automatically healthy. What matters is what you're losing. So research looking at weight loss during GLP-1 therapy suggests that roughly 25 to 35% of the total weight loss may come from lean mass, which includes muscle and other fat-free tissue. That's not a small number. And it's not unique to medication, though. It can happen with rapid weight loss from any approach, including bariatric surgery, aggressive caloric restriction. So the goal is not just to make the scale go down. The goal is to lose fat while protecting muscle, strength, energy, and long-term health. So what is lean mass and why does it matter so much? So it's important to really understand that muscle is not just about appearance. In midlife, especially, muscle is one of the most important things for the body. It regulates blood sugar, it drives metabolism, keeps bones strong, it supports balance, coordination, and the ability to move independently as we age. And research consistently links higher muscle mass with lower all-cause mortality, which means that it lowers your risk of death from everything. So it also links it to better glycemic control, which means your blood sugars are controlled better, reduces the risk of metabolic disease. So losing significant muscle during weight loss can leave someone lighter on paper, but metabolically weaker. And that has real consequences long term. And so when we're losing weight, it's so important that we're lowering our weight in a healthy way. And that's why I insist in doing things, a certain way. So this is exactly why I check body composition, not just weight. In my practice, when I'm working with someone on weight management plan, I don't just track the number on the scale. I look at the body composition because the scale alone cannot tell you whether you're losing fat or losing muscle. A person can lose 10 pounds and have it look very different depending on what those 10 pounds were made of. So tracking body composition, monitoring how someone feels, watching strength and energy levels, those are signals that tell me whether a plan is working or whether something needs to be adjusted. Weight management done well is not a handoff. It's an ongoing medical conversation. So if you feel exhausted, that's not something to push through. So fatigue during weight loss has more than one cause, and identifying the right one matters. It can come from eating too little overall. It can come from not getting enough protein. It can come from dehydration, especially if someone is experiencing, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea from their medication. It can come from nutrient deficiencies like low iron, low B12, low vitamin D, low magnesium. These are real measurable issues. So if someone is on a weight loss plan and feels weak, lightheaded, or depleted, that is a signal worth investigating, not something to normalize. And a physician who is actively monitoring the plan will catch these things. So protein becomes one of the most important things when appetite is low. And here's one of the most consistent findings from research. When people lose a significant amount of weight, inadequate protein intake accelerates lean muscle mass loss. So GLP-1s reduce appetite, which is exactly the point, right? But the downside is that some people eat so little that they don't meet their protein needs. And research on weight loss and muscle preservation generally recommends a protein intake of 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, which for many people translates to about 80 to 120 grams of protein daily, depending on body size and activity level. So in my practice, protein targets are one of the first things I discuss with someone on weight loss plan. When appetite is suppressed, protein cannot be an afterthought. It needs to come first. So some practical protein-rich options that work well are eggs, egg whites, Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, fish, lean meats. I prefer going the non-meat route, like for proteins as much as possible because of the saturated fat found in meats, which can raise cholesterol. But beans and lentils, protein shakes or smoothies, nuts and seeds, nut butters can be helpful. So the key is intentionality. When you're not very hungry, you have to think about protein before you think about anything else. Strength training is also very important. It's not optional during weight loss. It's actually protective. And this is one of the most important action step in this video. So research is consistent. Resistance training is the single most effective intervention for preserving lean mass during weight loss. Walking is good, cardio is good, but walking alone is generally not enough to protect muscle when the body is in significant caloric deficit. So a practical recommendation is strength or resistance training 2 to 3 times per week. This is not optional. It doesn't have to be a gym membership, though. It could be simple. It could be sit to stands from a chair, which is one of the best exercises for functional strength. It could be body weight squats. It could be wall push-ups. It could be resistance bands, light dumbbells, Pilates, strength-based fitness classes. But the goal is to give the muscles a reason to stay. Without that signal, the body has less incentive to protect them during rapid weight loss. So it's important to know that losing muscle and regaining fat is a real risk and worth taking seriously. In the last episode, we talked about the data showing that when people stop GLP-1 medications, for many, the weight tends to come back. What is important to understand here is that the weight regained is often predominantly fat, not muscle. So if someone lost muscle during weight loss phase and then regains mostly fat, their body composition may actually be worse than when they started. They may be a similar weight, but with less lean mass, less in muscle and more fat. That's actually a metabolic setback that is hard to see on a scale. And this is one of the core reasons a long-term plan matters, not just a short-term number. So really, really important to understand. And this is why, how you lower your weight is important. You just don't want to just take a medication from a random place and not do any follow-ups. And, because you may end up worse than you started if you end up stopping that medication. So in my practice, weight management includes monitoring, not just starting prescription. That means tracking weight loss pace, watching for muscle loss, assessing protein intake, checking hydration, running relevant labs like iron, B12, vitamin D, magnesium, kidney function, body composition. These are not extra steps. These are standard of good weight management care. And this is why I genuinely do not believe in just handing someone a medication and saying good luck, because the results people get from a well-monitored plan look very different from results of when you do it alone. So if this is filling in some gaps for you, things you wish someone had told you earlier, do me a favor, please. Hit subscribe, pass this along to someone who needs it, share it with someone. So many people are navigating the weight management process without good information. And your share might help someone build a safer, more effective plan and help them protect their long-term health. Okay, so let's keep going. So the scale is going down, so you may feel like the plan is working. Well, working. But the scale is one data point. It does not tell you what you're losing. A well-managed plan tracks more than just the weight. It tracks what the weight is made up of, how energy and health are holding up, and what your labs show. So if you feel worse when the weight moves, that is a signal worth investigating and not ignoring. And then I hear people say, oh, I don't have time to strength train. Well, 2 to 3 sessions per week, 20 minutes, 30 minutes each is reasonable and it is meaningful. Many effective exercises require no equipment at all. So protecting muscle during weight loss is not a bonus add-on. The research is clear. It significantly affects long-term health outcomes and body composition. And then some people think, you know what, I'm not hungry, so I'm probably fine. Well, reduced appetite is the point of the medication, but it does not mean that nutritional needs have changed. Protein requirements in particular stay high during weight loss or even increase. So not being hungry does not mean the body does not need nutrients. And that is a gap that needs, that can lead to fatigue, hair loss, and lean mass loss, and much more. So protein is not just for bodybuilders, right? Protein is for anyone who wants to protect their muscle, support their metabolism, and age well. It is one of the most studied and consistently recommended dietary factor in weight management research, especially in midlife women. So it's not a fitness trend, it's basic physiology. So if you're currently on a weight loss plan and you're wondering whether your plan includes all the right pieces, the body composition monitoring, protein guidance, strength training, lab monitoring, this is worth asking your own doctor about directly. A plan that only tracks scale is an incomplete plan. And if you're in the Sugar Land area and you're looking for the kind of comprehensive monitored approach to weight management and metabolic health that we've described, well, InTouch Primary Care offers a complimentary 15-minute meet and greet. The link is below. And if you already have a physician you trust, bring these questions to that conversation. They are the right questions you should be asking. So imagine your weight management plan left you stronger, not just smaller, more energized, not depleted, with better labs, better muscle, and a body that feels like it's actually working with you, not against you. That is what thoughtful medical monitored weight management looks like. And it's possible. It just requires the right plan, the right support, and a doctor who is paying attention to more than the number on the scale. And for women in their 40s and 50s, if this becomes actually more important because of the transition through menopause which can already affect muscle, sleep, insulin resistance, belly fat, energy, and so much more. And that's what we're going to be talking about next. So make sure you tune in. I hope that helps.